안녕하세요. Seattle Insomnia입니다. What's up, Moo-Moos? What's up, YouTube? Seattle Insomnia back again. It's been a while. I kind of miss this. I was out sick after catching the flu, either at the concert or one of the restaurants I ate at or the airport. Don't know, but I ended up getting pretty sick. I missed a week of work, and when I got back to work, I had found that a lot of my coworkers also ended up getting sick. I don't know if it was for me, I hope not, but who knows? It's definitely spreading around. People are still sick, so hopefully you all are healthy and happy and doing well. This is going to be a little bit different. I was originally thinking about kind of going over the music videos of the songs that were played at the concert. I know that uh, I say Mamamoo the best, kind of like their greatest hits album with a lot of remixes and different versions of the originals. A lot of that is what was played at the concert, but I also found out that there was a keychain and when you bought the keychain, you get a link to the recorded concert. Now, I didn't get the one at Oakland, but a friend of mine had the same one that actually bought my ticket and helped me get to the Oakland show. Also went to the LA concert as well and got me that keychain. And I'm going to assume that it's probably going to be the link to that concert, or maybe I can choose and find the Oakland concert. But either way, I'm going to, when it uploads, I'm going to do a reaction to that. But what I am going to do is kind of talk about my experience and go over. I wrote down the track list for all the songs that were played, make some talk about some notes that I wrote down, things that I observed, uh, and just kind of give my thoughts. Also, show there were quite a few moo there. Like I'm pretty sure it was a sold out concert or very close to being sold out. I did not see very many empty seats at all. But there were quite a few moo that were walking around handing out like little freebies. And this is like a keychain. And I think that's got like WI. So I'm wondering if that's like for Wien. They were handing out stickers. We got the cards that we held up after their little, what they call VCR segment. They were watching on screen, and when they turned back around, we all had the signs like up in the air, and they all kind of paused and read them, and the interaction was just amazing. Uh, sorry, I gotta look. I got my official Mamamoo t-shirt. By the time, I don't know if you saw some of the posts of the pictures that I had, that line, I would not be surprised if it was over half a mile long, if not longer, for the main merch outside. And we weren't positive whether or not there was going to be merch inside or not. Nobody really knew. Actually, there were other merch tables and things inside, but I didn't want to take the chance. So I ended up staying in line. And I actually met a family that was not too far from where I am. They're just a little bit more north in Canada. I believe it was one of the Vancouvers, either the Canadian Vancouver or Washington Vancouver. So if that's the case, it'd be a little more south. But they were there for their daughter, who is a big moo. They enjoy Mamamoo and consider themselves moo. But the dad is also a Dreamcatcher fan. So we got to chat about Dreamcatcher. He is a guitarist and covered a lot of their music. I don't know if he's got his own YouTube channel or he just does it to do it, but it was pretty cool. I know there had been some comments on some of my posts about my feeling being a non-targeted demographic, single white male over the age of 40. Yeah, I'm old. And how I felt, if I seemed to be kind of able to integrate or get along with a lot of the other Moomos there. I really, I'm an actual introvert, to be honest. So I don't seek out and try to mingle much unless I know people. It just so happened that the group in front of me was talking about Seattle, uh, saying they were making the comment about wishing that they would Mamamoo would have came to Seattle. It would have been a much closer venue for them, and that's when I'm like, oh yeah, I'm actually from Seattle, and that's how we kind of got to talking. But other than that, I didn't really talk to many other Mumus, and I actually, other than the friend that made this all possible, I didn't really see any of my viewers either. I know that some of you said you were going to be there, and it was just so many people, so much going on. I'm more of a people watcher type person. And there were a lot, yeah, I'm not going to say a lot, quite a few people that were dressed up. Uh, uh, like Mamamoo, like I saw somebody that was dressed up in Hawassa and the red leathers, the bikini bottoms, fishnet, tights, and the corset. I believe it was a corset. Yeah, and then the kind of captain style hats. Some people call them biker hats. And then there was two other people that were dressed up in the Chicomalo Moonbuell Solar outfits. There were people dressed up in the purple cow, look like onesie pajamas or costumes, and a bunch of other iconic outfits all throughout, which I thought was really cool. There was another one dressed up as a ghost. I know Hwasa saw either Hwasa or Solar saw back pretty close to where I was sitting. I think a section over and all the way back at the back. Uh, White puffy, almost like a cotton suit, but then lights on the inside. And I don't remember if Hwasa or Solar yelled out ghost, but I know one of the two did. I just don't remember exactly which one. But it was a really interesting costume. It was a lot of fun. I It was a very, very lively audience, though. Uh, Quite a few times, the girls would get screams and cheers while they were talking, and it would distract them. And they would laugh and cut up and forget what they were saying or miss the line they were saying and have, just kind of say thank you or bow or acknowledge the yells and screams for them, which was a lot of fun. The interaction, the level of wanting to interact with us was amazing. Definitely a higher level than other acts that I have been to. So I really appreciated that. As far as the sound and everything that I got to experience from there, the track list. It started off with what they call their VCR when they put a video up, and it's up on I believe there was three big screens that they had playing. Normally, when the girls were in front, they didn't have too much going in the middle, but they had the left stage, right stage, big screens recording and having them up there. And then whenever they played something for everyone, it would be on all three screens. So it started off with their intro VCR of them basically walking in, their vocal harmonies. I don't remember off the top of my head if, because it was a song I didn't recognize, so I hadn't heard it yet. But they opened up with 1, 2, Eoil, and then it went into Mr. Ambiguous, which Mr. Ambiguous, when Solar hit her belts, I think the people that were in the sound booth had her mic running really hot because her mic positioning wasn't too, like, she pulled the way she should have. I think they just for some reason had her running hot because the speakers that were up above rattled. Like, I thought they were gonna pop, to be honest. And I could see the sound mixer, which was down on the main floor, kind of back center, which is usually stereotypical at a concert venue, uh, because they can hear the reverb, everything, the acoustics bouncing off the ceiling, the walls, and then the sound coming from the speakers to adjust in real time. And they scrambled because I immediately, as soon as I heard that, looked down and saw them scrambling for that and pulling it back. And luckily, from the sound of it, it didn't sound like she blew a speaker, any of the speakers, but she has power. Like, your chest, your everything just vibrates. It is so much power. But that was amazing. After that, those two, they did their introductions with a little talk and kind of greeted the audience. And like, you could tell they were, I don't want to say tired. They had become comfortable. Like, they knew they were at the end of their US tour, Oakland and then LA. So like, they had gotten warmed up and used to being on the road, traveling, doing concerts again. So they felt very laid back. I didn't feel any nervousness from them. And it felt like good dialogue and that they were generally truly happy to be there, which was amazing. And then they broke into Aya. I really liked Aya after hearing it in Killing Voice live. Aya is in my top three songs for Mamamoo as a group, from what I've heard so far. It was amazing. The growls, the vocal fry from Hwasa, and actually from all of them. They all used vocal fry from what I remember. Like, I just love their tone, their all the tools they have in their vocal toolkit on full display. It was amazing. And I was fairly far back, so I had to watch a lot of it on the monitor because it really looked like I could just put my finger up and like squeeze and, like an ant. But watching them perform and dance and move was really, really cool. But just getting to hear their voices, their vocal agility, and be in the moment with all the other mumus, it was just very emotional. Like, I had a hard time. Like, I had watery eyes pretty much the entire time, regardless if I was laughing, singing along. I'm pretty sure I almost lost my voice, and that probably is also what did not help in me getting the flu as well. But just amazing. Then they went into I want to say, if it is the Spanish pronunciation, Aella was really good. Then they did another talk break to catch their breaths, and then they went into Decalcomani, and then Hip. Hip was amazing. They did the remix version, and watching them perform that, like I was in awe, like just watching them move around and still like I see it reacting to their videos, but it like again, it's so different being there, watching the amount of energy they expend when doing their performance, their dances, and singing at the same time, and the power that they have. Yes, they've got backing tracks going. Again, that's the standard. Anything could happen. A mic can go out. Who knows? Mic falls out. They drop them. Whatever. At least it continues and it doesn't break immersion, I guess, is a way of putting it. But there's something. There's no silent, no dead air, and that's kind of one of an artist's biggest fear is dead air, especially during your performance. Then they had another VCR, and this one was actually a scripted cartoon that was written by Solar about the four winds, and it kind of played into the joke of taller than you and led into taller than you, and it was maybe 4 minute long cartoon, and it was really well done, very funny, a lot of fun. So I really really enjoyed it. And then that broke into Taller Than You. Then they did another talk, and that's where they explained that Solar asked if we enjoyed it and things like that. And I don't know if Wien or Moonbyul mentioned that Solar was the one that wrote the script for that, but it was she was really proud of it, and I mean, she really should be. It was actually a lot of fun. And then they kind of broke into talking about asking if we knew what was coming next. And I had a feeling, but I wasn't 100% sure because there had definitely been, they have done other shows, and I kind of had a feeling they were getting ready to break into the solo swaps, and that's exactly what it ended up being. They call it the solo parade, and Solar did watercolor, Hwasa, and Eclipse. I really, really enjoyed her version of Eclipse. That was so well done. She is definitely a rapper and a dancer. If she really, really wanted to put invest time and energy into becoming an elite dancer, I 100% believe that she could do it. And then we end with Honey, and then Mumble Twit, and her version of Twit was actually really interesting and really good. She Moonbyul doesn't go into the vocal fries or the sultriness that Hwasa gets, but her version was really good nonetheless. Then they broke into the solo medley with Spit It Out, Make Me Happy, Lunatic, and Maria. And Buell, I wrote down Buell, Moonbyul, her line in Maria, I don't know what it was, how she delivered it. I started crying. I don't remember the line now off the top of my head. I tried writing it down and I just couldn't remember which one it was exactly. And then it kind of went into another VCR moment for them. I believe they actually did a costume change, if I remember correctly, because when they came back, it was Paint Me and Star, Wind, Flower, Sun. And again, I think I was writing that emotion from Moonbyul's delivery that Paint Me and Star, Wind, Flower, Sun had me emotional as well. Then they went into another talk. and came back with Egotistic. And it was the Blistering Sun version, and wow. Like, it was the one that I saw in Killing Voice, it was just such a small snippet, but it was running that whole theme from the Four Colors, Four Seasons uh, era. I'm going to call it that because it definitely, you could tell the, how to explain, like the emotion, because it's all about the cycle of love, but there's other deeper element parts, I think, that kind of go beyond that a little bit. But that version, like, was so hype that I like it better than the original. It was really, really good. And then they turn and flip and go into Go Go Baby, but the rock version. And I want to see, I'm a rocker. So I would love to see them do more rock versions. I think it would be amazing. I think they're definitely well suited for it. They do really well with the jazz and the soul and the R&B. I mean, and then pop, obviously, but they really do have the versatility in their singing styles that they could pull off rock easily. Then they went into the talk a little bit more, and then they came back with what is now my favorite song of theirs, Starry Night. I don't know what it was about Starry Night, but the tears flowed. Like I was literally wiping them with my sleeves. Like it hit me, and it hit me hard. And the only reason why I know it was these, because it was like a blur. 2.5 hours went by like it felt like it was 15 minutes. But somebody posted that was there as well. They did a fan cam of it, and the emotions hit me again. And it's Hawassa's line, like just the pain, even though that's more of a longing, because I'm pretty sure Starry Night is from Yellow Flower. So that is the beginning of love, and that longing and finding somebody. If I remember correctly, the synopsis of what Windflower, Yellow Flower, not Windflower, Yellow Flower is about. And I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was just a yearning, a longing in her voice and her delivery that just hit me. And then it went into Windflower after that, and it was the dramatic version, and that just it kept going. The waterworks just kept coming. And we got the VCR, the end of that, and that's when we put up the signs. So I kind of got a break from the emotions a little bit, but then it also kind of hit me again a little bit because seeing their reaction to all of us raising the card, and that whole do what you want to do, um them talking about wanting to work hard and come back. And I hope we get good news about that soon on whether or not they're going to be re-signing or signing a new contract. I know the 19th is coming up. Day is the 14th where I am. So 5 days until their anniversary. So hopefully we get good news. I keep getting notifications of some spoilers for their Korean encore, my tour, my contour. So I'm hoping that there's an announcement at that concert that they're re-signing or something good. Then they went into their encore, and that was the loudest I have ever heard a stadium since I had been to a Seattle Seahawks game. Like, it was thunderous, calling for an encore, and the screams and the yells and the I love yous and the Hawassa and Weens and Solar and Moonbuell just yelling. You know, it was electrifying. It really, really was. For their encore set, they did Travel. Yes, I Am, the funk version. And then they did oh wait, maybe it was a Talk Fan video that we did the I don't remember. I know one of them. Sorry. It's been it's hard to believe it's been like 12 days, almost 2 weeks since I've been there, so it feels like so much longer. I think it was after the Talk Fan actually is when they turned and they watched um, a bunch of people, fans that submitted how big of a fan they were and showing their CD collections or album collections and how long they've been a fan and things of that nature. And that's when they turned around and we did the sign. That's when we do it. Not before Starry Night. I don't remember what happened before Starry Night. Um, that's when we did it. And yeah, again, the emotions were there, and you could see they were like pretty sincere with seeing like U.S. fans and how big of a collections they had and how long they had been a fan and things like that. So it was really nice. And I think that's when they started talking about them wanting to come back and working harder and like every single one of them from Wasa, Wien, Solar, and Moonbu all talking about wanting to come back and wanting to come perform for the US again together as Mamamoo. Um, although if they did a solo tour, I would not be opposed because I'd be at all of them if I could. But 100%, if Wasa were to do a solo tour, I'd be there. Then they did LIEC, and then their yeah, which I'm pretty sure that's Solar's favorite track that they have. And that was a lot of fun. And it was the 2021 version. Uh, I only took a few pictures during, um, I got one of Wasa during Starry Night. She was kneeling at the front of the stage, interacting with the fans in the front row where she was. And then at the end, I pulled it out for after the encore for their curtain call and farewells and bows. Hands down, this is the best concert I have ever been to. It surpasses, I've seen Tool twice, no, three times. I've seen Perfect Circle once. I've not seen Pussifer, but that's my trifecta. Maynard James Keenan, MJK, the lead singer, frontman for all three of the groups, and like I grew up listening to Tool, and then Perfect Circle came out, and then Pussifer came out. Like because Maynard's involved. Maynard is a lyrical genius. He's a musical genius. Progressive rock, experimental rock, and then just kind of alternative rock. And their 2001 Lateralis tour was my number one. Mamamoo Mycon, Oakland is now my number one. It is was an amazing experience, electrifying. The stage presence, even just watching them on a monitor, and when I would watch the stage to try to see them, bad eyes. Uh, it was so full of emotion, so full of love from the viewers, Mumu's to the stage, but then reciprocated in the performance by Mamamoo. I really hope they do come back. I really hope I have the funds that I can get front row seating as well as VIP meet and greet because I want that experience next. But yeah, um, oh, kind of going on, and this is something I wanted to talk about too. After experiencing and seeing what I saw at the concert, and a lot of muumuus that have kind of, I want to say this respectfully because people have their perceptions, but I think RBW is doing an amazing job. From a promotion standpoint, people complain that Mamamoo is not getting the promotion that's needed, advertising, and things like that. Like I said, there were very few seats that were not filled. Had this concert only been half full, I would agree with the standpoint that RBW is doing a poor job. I think RBW is being smart. I think they're being fiscally responsible. Why pay for advertising when your fan base can do it for you? In the US, and there were a lot of I saw some posts about criticisms of when the tour was posted and the venues that they were going to go to and the responses of, oh, is that a little too ambitious? Maybe they should choose smaller venues. RBW knows what they're doing. They play the game in a different way. And that is very, very obvious. People may not agree. They may want to see fanfare and parade for their favorite group. And that's fair. I understand that. Looking at it from a business sense, they have a plan, they have a vision, and I hope that this tour shows one the ladies that they are loved and that they have a huge fan base worldwide. I hope it shows the CEO and the rest of RBW that Mamamoo has staying power and longevity. There is no other group like them right now. And I'm hard pressed to say that there will be another in the future that will be like them. They got a golden ticket, and I hope they ride it. Because if they had done anything wrong, promotion wise, they would not have been breaking records with the likes of Spice Girls, Destiny's Child, Rihanna. with ticket sales in the US for a debut concert tour. And it may not seem like big numbers, but when you're filling 80% of professional sports arenas, those are pretty big numbers concert wise. I've been to concerts where Aerosmith did not fill an arena. Uh, and that was a pretty big arena in Indianapolis, where the NBA Pacers play, and the venue that we were at is where the Golden State Warriors play their NBA games, and there were quite a few seats, and only where the back section was, I would say it probably only took up 2.5 sections. And that's because, if you sat them, they'd be looking at the back of a monitor, or, and the back set and things of that nature. So it's not like they did it in the round. They would actually lose seating if they tried doing it in the round. But, maybe not. Depends on the setup. I was a security I worked security for a very similar style. It was for a D League NBA team and a D League hockey team, but it was also a concert venue, War Memorial Coliseum in Fort Wayne, Indiana. It's where I grew up, and I did security there. So I actually met quite a few. Uh, like I met Steven Tyler himself. Uh, the concert I'm referring to. Well, no, that was in Indianapolis, but I worked it because I got to travel if I wanted to. We were a big security group, but so I watched the one that was in Indianapolis. I worked the one that was in Fort Wayne. Uh, Sidetrack tangent. Hi, it's been a while. How you doing? So where was I going? Oh yeah, in the round. It can be done. We had concerts that were in the round at the War Memorial Coliseum, mainly country concerts, which I begrudgingly worked because I needed money. But most venues or most acts will use the either narrow end of an arena. When you think of basketball, either goal end. Same with football, goal ends. They'll set their stage up on one of the ends, usually the one that's the has the easiest access for equipment and stage setup and stuff like that. But every once in a while, depending upon how the stage is set up, you can do in the round where you do an aisle in the middle and then do a smaller circle stage, kind of like what was used in Immortal Songs Medley for a couple of those performances. So, but they didn't have that set up here. Would have been cool. I was actually kind of hoping to see that type because then it would have been a little bit easier to see them for us farther in the back. But it is what it is. But yes, I think RBW is not as horrible as people seem to think. I think people misunderstand a business aspect of music industry. And if you can save thousands of dollars and use them in either the production of an album or a music video or paying your staff or paying your artists, I would rather see the money go to that because you've got the fans word of mouth. And I really truly think that's their strategy and it's working. So for those of you that kind of have been harping a little bit on RBW, I think you might want to do a little more research on them and maybe do it for yourself and not what myself included a reactor may put out there and try to say that they know they have the inside scoop on what's going on in a company unless the artists actually come out themselves and say something, which I have yet to see. Now, granted, I'm still a new Mumu, but I'm pretty sure had there been something out there, it would have been made public by now. And I don't think the fact that Wien left to go pursue another group, I don't think that was because she was not happy with RBW. I think she was expanding because if she was really unhappy, she would not have stayed and still worked with as Mamamoo. Because if there was really something going on there, one, they would not have signed a contract the way they signed it. They would have just either A, disbanded, or B, they would have replaced. And that would have been really hard to do because Wien as an artist is, how to put it, like when you listen to the three main vocals, and that's what I'm going to call them, even though Solar is the main vocalist. Hwasa has the sultry lows. She can get into those highs with the falsettos, and she can use her head voice just as good as everyone else. But her tone and her quality, her timbre, is very very unique. Solar, who is a very clean and classical singer that can get those growls, she can definitely use vocal fry and growl and can get lower, but her tone quality is very clean. Queen is that in between. She can have the good cleans, but then she can also have the grungy, distorted vocal fry growl. The way that she uses her head voice, she gets textures. She has a very rich voice, and she can go to the cleans as well. But I think she is like that perfect in between Hwasa and Solar. And I don't know if there really is another singer that could match Wien. In all honesty, Wien is definitely very unique, very gifted, and is what, when they sing together in unison and they blend, I think Wien is really the glue that brings them all together. And I think RBW knows that, and I know for a fact Mamamoo knows that. So if there really truly was any real negativity or anything bad going on there, Mamamoo would not have lasted this long. That's my 2 cents. And again, research, do your own. But from what I know from music industry, and again, I'm not a professional. My music talent is in musical theater and collegiate and high school choir, jazz choir, and things like that. But I've been around music pretty much my entire life and follow bands and worked at a music venue for 2 3 years that production companies come and go, producers come in, kind of talk with the roadies, and when we're able to talk with the actual artists. I've met a couple, not long. We didn't like sit back and have a beer, but it was definitely, got to shake hands, ask them if they needed anything, and kind of chat the shit when we were, escorting them to where they either their dressing rooms to their buses and things like that. And some of them were really cool and actually like talked to us and, were really, really cool. And then there were some where you just looked at the ground, made sure nobody was coming anywhere near them. Corn, Rob Zombie. Uh, but for the most part, most of the artists were pretty cool and bands were pretty cool. Seven Dust is probably one of my favorites. LeJean Witherspoon, hell of a guy, hell of a guy. Um, but yeah, even without a video, I am at 45 minutes of pure talking, and I can feel it. So yes, this was an amazing concert. My breakdown. I am very much, well, I can't even talk right. Very much looking forward to the Four Color, Four Seasons era. There is a lot in there, and I might break it down Starry Night when I get to that because there is a song that Starry Night reminds me of, and um, I'm blanking on the name of the group. The song is Prayer and Sea. Indie group that has a very similar guitar melody. Like it's not identical. There no copyright or trademark or whatever. No copyright infringement. They didn't steal the the melody, but the notes within that melody, it's in the same key. And it definitely, when you hear it, it definitely reminds me of it. And it was bugging me because I heard it in Killing Voice and I just couldn't place it why it sounded so familiar. At the concert, it hit me what it was because it had been a while since I've heard it. So when I got back to the hotel room, I looked it up and searched and found it. And when I'm listening to it, like immediately Huasa's ya 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 like fit perfectly at the end of one of the stanzas. I'm like, that would be a hell of a mashup, to be honest. But yeah, Starry Night right now is my favorite song. I Alive is probably my second. And I know there's quite a few songs I still haven't heard because that was like 20 ish, 26, 25 songs. And I know there's more in I Say Mamamoo the best. And then there are even more throughout the discography. So, oh, well, I guess there's more I can actually talk about too. But yeah, uh, excellent concert. While I was sick, and because I was craving Mamamoo, I ended up watching the entire first season of Queendom. Uh, this show, not just the stage performances, like all the behind the scenes with all the groups. And that was an amazing show. I really enjoyed it. I gained some major respect for Park Bom. I felt really bad for her, especially knowing her coming from 21. Her like trying to relive the glory days, but then trying to break out and start a new career. she still has vocal chops. Like I listened to a couple other 21 songs that no, I didn't react to. I may later or not, but like when she was younger, her attitude and just that young, spry second gen come out and go get 'em YG style, and then seeing where she's at now. Well, then I should say. Um, like she tried so hard, and I respect her a lot for doing that. Um, Same with AOA, going from what, a seven group down to a five, and trying to figure out their identity. Like they had some really good songs, and then some interesting choices when they did their rock version of splitting off the group. I think the critiques there were kind of spot on. But what who surprised me the most, really, and it's a group that I've kind of reacted to, and I'm like wavering between them and Red Velvet on who was like in my top five, and that was Idol. Like them coming out the gates and taking top spot, excuse me, in their with their first song was really good. And then they kind of, I think the rest of the groups kind of got their groove, and you could tell a rookie group from an experienced group. But Idol really did surprise me, though. I definitely was shocked and have a lot of respect after seeing a lot of the behind the scenes and the way they work together and talk. And I know Sujin's no longer with them, but like it was a really neat show. And even though Mamamoo is not in the second season, I may take a look at that on my own, like I did Queendom 1. But it was a lot of fun. Uh, oh My Girl was definitely. I'm actually very surprised. I know I'm biased towards Mamamoo, but I am actually very, very surprised that Oh My Girl did not win. Mamamoo had that solid second place every showing, and I think it was really the Moo coming through with those uh the I think did they buy the download of the songs that were being played. I'm not quite sure all of that going through, but Oh My Girl is definitely one that I want to take a look at. I know that they're going to be a little bit more poppy and more on the, I don't know if I want to go girl crush, but bubble pop, I think. So, but we'll see. I definitely enjoyed their remixes that they did, and their stylistic changes, especially the one where I don't remember the title of it, but where they actually got into Hongbok and uh, went with a very traditional cultural performance style. Like that was pretty freaking amazing. And then they went into the goth vampire, and that really intrigues me. So their concepts that they came up with were really really cool, and I, from what it sounds like, from what it seemed like, it was definitely very different than what they normally do. So we'll see with that. But it was I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. Um, I think of the groups that I probably would not look more into, Lovelies did not seem like a group that would probably be my vibe. They're definitely very talented, very intriguing, but probably not one that I would go out of my way to listen to unless they were requested. AOA, I think, has an interesting concept. I think I might want to take a look at some of their older stuff, and then if they did, I haven't seen the only two groups that I know of that after that that did anything, obviously Mamamoo and Idol. So if AOA is still together, or if they're still making music with only 5 members, I may kind of look into that. But that was a lot of fun. And then the other thing that I did while being sick and needing to get my Mamamoo itch, I watched other reactors, some of my favorite reactors, reacting to Killing Voice, because I think every song in Killing Voice was at in the concert, even though it was just small snippets. So that was I watched a lot of different reactors commenting, and I kind of wanted to see if they caught something that maybe I missed. Um, and I think for the most part, I hit, especially the ones that are vocal coaches and singers. I pretty sure I hit was able to tell and see most of the stuff that they brought up as well. I think what I did miss was I always talked about their harmonizing, but I guess I did skip over talking about how they blend. And that's kind of where, you know, thinking about Ween's place within the three, it it made sense on how vital Ween is in Mamamoo. So that's what I've been doing for the past 12 days. So, um, I think what I'm going to be doing I'm going to try to get back on schedule. This is technically, I go back to work tomorrow, and I have been promising my patrons, that I would be getting all 14 Immortal songs reacted to. So, once I get that up and posted for them, and if you're interested in seeing that, the link to my Patreon will be in the description below. That's going to go up this next week, since I have not been recording as usual. I'm going to try to record when I get home from work. Tomorrow's Thursday. So Mamamoo Monday. I think I should be able to have Mamamoo Monday up as normal. That will be the start of my week, and then I'll try to catch up with the rest of it. So there'll be this, and then the next time that a reaction will go up, unless I get it done, yeah, it's going to be Monday with Mamamoo Day and more Mamamoo Day. I'm going to have Piano Man, the album review, and I'll probably try to find a different performance for Piano Man, since we've already seen the regular MV. Maybe a live, if there's a live of it that won't get blocked. And then for more Mamamoo, since we are still in June and I did not get to my Pride dedication for all my LGBTQ community, I had to think about how to say that. Six sequence. I'm gonna have Moonbyul, her album review for more Mamamoo Day. So that's what it's gonna look like coming up, and then I'm still gonna think about how I'm gonna structure the rest of my week. I know that Mondays and Fridays are gonna remain the same. Because those are my two alt groups, and I'm gonna continue them as normal. It's the in between. I will probably still do K Rock Thursday. I still have a patron member that is a fan of K Rock J Metal, and they've got their request, and so that'll be coming up as well. Dreamcatcher is going to be normal, and with full album Friday and double feature Friday for Dreamcatcher. It'll be I'm not gonna do the RBW Monday or RBW Wednesday type thing. That's just a little too much. What I will probably save my Wednesdays for is it's just gonna be a catch-all, my choice, whether that's new music, a patron request that for something that's not either Mamamoo or Dreamcatcher or K Rock Dream Metal, and diving in and slowly going through because I know I need to get to the Billy. Um, I've been meaning to deep dive Billy and do their guide because one of my viewers, who is a Mumu and an Insomnia and a Billy fan, has made a guide, and I promised them I would react to that, and I'm going to keep my promise on that. All right, again, this has been a full hour of me talking, no music, so let me know if you made it to the end. All right, I hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, night, wherever you are. Kamsahamnida, thank you very much for your view, your like, your subscribes. I appreciate you all very, very much. And until the next video, annyeong, peace.
Starry Night 별이 빛나는 밤 네가 부러워 너와 말하는 수많은 밤 나를 취하게 만들어 별이 빛나는 밤 Let's go.